Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Sprawl. Did you decide what advancement you want to take, Jinx?
I think I'm probably just gonna end up taking another job, but
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm looking through the moves right now.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to take it like right away. You can
Yeah,
take it.
obviously. I'm just checking it out.
Okay. Cool. All right. So just we'll make a note that
Yeah,
you have that. Okay.
I'll let you know when I
In
figure
the
it out.
meantime, our mission has started, and as such, I can roll.
Yeah. If anybody has
it all fits together.
Yeah, mission start stuff to roll. Now's the time.
I'm gonna roll my edge,
Okay.
and I get an 8.
Okay.
And that is, I get 1 hold, I think, with an 8. Yes.
Right,
One
and this is
hold.
just
1 hold that I can use to ask a question from the research list at any time on anything.
just detective vision. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I get Batman Detective Vision, exactly.
All right, perfect. You have a name. Well, a name. You have Liquid Freak. You have the fact that he was working for the Combinat and then found something cool and then disappeared. So
my thought
where do you
is
begin?
My thought is that the easiest place to find somebody who's trying to avoid being found is the place where you go to hire people to protect you from being found by stuff, which would be that like goth bar. You remember?
Yeah, what do we call that? It was
Yeah.
like something really the one that Alex works at.
Yeah, the one.
It was called something really pretentious, which I was so in love with.
I can't remember. Yeah.
Oh my god, 10,000 esports dollars to the first person to remember the name of that pretentious bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was called like Disintegrate or something.
Yeah, it was like really like cliched goth bar name.
Yeah.
Aftermath.
Aftermath. Yeah.
Aftermath is more like an industrial club.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's a thin line between one and the other, Adam, though. Let's be real.
Let's be real. Yeah. Yeah. I know the place to which you were referring.
Yeah, that place.
It was called Condemned.
It was called.
It was called Condemned. Yep.
Very nice. We have the notes.
Okay.
The notes prevail.
I'm a good game master.
So because I've been tasked with finding this dude,
Mm-hmm.
the easiest way to do it would be to try and do some surveillance and overhear some conversations and talk to the right people.
Okay.
At Condemned, I think, because that's the place you go when you're in trouble and you need someone to bail you out.
Okay.
So I think, I have to go and talk to Alex. I think that's what I have to do.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to go and talk to the bartender at Condemned?
Yeah.
Okay.
And see if anybody's like come in. Do we have a description, like a physical description for this guy, or like know anything about
No,
him?
but I mean, we might as well just go whole hog on the it's fake Alex Blue. So.
Oh yeah. No, I meant the guy I'm asking
No,
about.
no. You have no idea.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, the bartender is clearly.
He's not. So the bartender. Remember So the bartender in this place probably wouldn't be real. It would be like an AR hologram of a person, right? Like.
Yeah. There's gotta be. Yeah.
So, because it adds to the ethereality of the place.
True.
The drink emerges from the bar, kind of whole cloth, but you can talk to this VI. Yeah, well, and that's the thing is, yeah, Alex, exactly. It's called Condemned because it's named after the sign that the city put up over the door. Yeah. Exactly. It's an artificial person. So, yeah, so you can go there and you can pick up information.
Yeah, that's my plan.
Okay. All right.
So I suppose.
Do you go alone?
Yeah. Unless anybody wants to come with me, then I go by myself. I don't know.
I could tag along, but I would only come if you invited me.
What the team wants. I mean, I basically got assigned to go find this motherfucker. So it's like, I'm doing the job.
It's what you're good at.
Doing the job that I was told to do. All right, I'm not sure what move this would necessarily be. I'm sort of looking through the moves here.
Can't you research in people?
Yeah, I can research people, so I think that's probably what it is.
Yeah, using the bar as a database.
Yeah. So not only do I spend time like talking to Alex, but I also know a bunch of people in here that I've seen tangentially other times who may have taken on a job to, you know, deal with this situation or work with the combinat in some obscure way or what have you. And I'm just gonna
Okay,
sort
so what's
of-
your? I think it makes perfect sense for your character to use a group of people who know things as a database for sure.
Yep, that's the plan.
Yeah, that completely makes sense.
Um,
So you're at Condemned, and we see you. How like is this a few short hours, or is this a over the course of a week? Like how long are you doing this kind of?
I would
work?
say that it's not very long. It's like one visit sort of thing. Because I need to find out any information, but assuming that I don't, like if it doesn't go off, my next move would be to like surveil places where I think, you know, either the combinat will be moving from to somewhere that I can intercept, or, you know, this place in case this guy comes in or sends somebody.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's probably.
All right. Well, let's see what you can pick up.
Let's see what I learn. So I have the ear to the ground move, which lets me research in a group of people. So here we go. 7.
Okay.
Gives me 1 question, I believe. And I get intel.
Yeah. Okay. So again, we always mix it up. You ask the research question. You ask the research question first, and then roll. It's not a huge deal. But I will answer. Yeah, I'll answer the question. So what question did you want to get the answer to?
I mean, the obvious question is, where would I find Liquid Freak?
Okay. So the patrons, because I can only give you information that you'd be able to get from this place. So I think that for the most part, as Drez says, like nobody go like. I guess this is the thing. He's a new hacker, so he probably has introduced himself in Meatspace once or twice as a Liquid Freak, which is just like such an amateur move.
Yeah.
You know, if you're trying to keep your lives separate. But yeah, I think maybe there's someone in the bar. Maybe they're another like a merc, like a former like a. No, I think they still do contract work for Hasty Mart. They're part of Hasty Mart's like security like team. But on the side, they're moonlighting, doing like other stuff. And and so you know you're talking to this woman in kind of Hasty Mart body armor, just hanging out at the bar, drinking a beer, and you bring up like Liquid Freak, and she laughs. I'm envisioning like this character to be kind of like a less neon version of Zarya. Like she's like a big lady, probably American, and wearing like a Hasty Mart like security uniform with the sleeves ripped off, and she has like a bunch of tattoos on both arms, like neon kind of circuitry tattoos. And so she's telling you about, like, she laughs and she's like, yeah, that name sounds familiar. That little twerp was in here maybe a week ago trying to get personal security. He looked real squirrely, like somebody had gotten on his trail.
Anybody take him up on the job?
She laughs, shakes her head. No,
I mean,
no.
I didn't think so, but
He didn't have any cred. It was all promises, right? He'd hit some big score, and once the pay came in, then his personal Yojimbo would get their payday. But I mean, she looks around. You know, we don't work on spec around here.
no, I completely understand.
He got laughed out of the place, but he kept saying something about gods of war, some friends of his, that we'd all rue crossing them. She shrugs.
Gods of war, huh?
She shrugs. I don't know. It looked like a twerp to me. You know how these kids are. They fuck around with daddy's computer and they get themselves into trouble, end up someplace they're not supposed to be, and then when the heat comes down...
So, physically, what are we talking here? Description of this person.
She's like, oh, typical script kiddie bullshit. Some show Nintendo, one of them hentai t-shirts, lots of AR. Kid came in here dripping with ads. Maybe 16, 17. Chinese or Korean or some shit. I don't know.
Oh.
I got a bad eye for that stuff.
I think for sure this kid has gotten in over his head.
She
Now
nods.
that I'm looking for him.
Yeah, she nods and she holds up her, like, she's got like a mega tall boy, right? Like a hasty size. It's like a Slurpee of beer. She's just finished it and she's like, to Liquid Freak and getting in over your head, and she like drinks the rest of it and crushes it on the bar.
And you're just like bottle.
And she looks over and yeah, the Alex hologram kind of just like shakes his head like an actual gallon of beer. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and like, pay my tab and get out of there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
With that simile of like real money that this kind of place would still use, like nostalgia wise, it's like, oh yeah, I'll scan the whatever thing. It's like, oh well, it should just deduct automatically, but this is way more nostalgic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, most modern places use a Disney Bezos retinal retail scanner device to automate your purchases, but this place, no, you got to actually use your cred stick, like it was.
You gotta like interface with something.
Yeah, like it was merely 20 XDX.
Yeah. Okay, so Gods of War.
Mm-hmm.
That I need to check out. I need to figure out who they might be talking about for Gods of War. So I think that's probably more research.
But maybe this is getting into something that D-Rez can.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I tell you guys like what I found out. A couple hours, probably like 6 hours after you send me out. Like,
well, so while that's happening, is anyone else doing anything?
Yeah, good question.
I'm being a shitty kid.
Uh-huh.
So I want to know if that probably not. I was wondering if fictionally I could use I know people to know Liquid Freak. Or maybe know Liquid Freak.
Let me look at the moves. Let me look at the moves parameters.
I mean, I used it to know the security chief of like some security team involved directly.
Wait, that's a. Can you broadcast the move?
Mm-hmm. It says a new contact,
right.
But it's a new contact to me. That doesn't mean that they don't exist. They just weren't a contact. I don't know.
You could, but we're operating under the assumption here that even if you get a 10+, it's not like he's available to you.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, being available would be a hit the street thing, and that's not like it was a fictional thing probably to be like, yeah, I know shitty kids.
You'd have to make a move for that. You couldn't just say like, I definitely know this guy. But yes, you could.
Yeah. I don't know if that would give us any kind of advantage to have like.
You may want to save the move for someone that'll be more useful to you.
Yeah. Anyway, so you find out that he got in with these Gods of War, huh?
Mm-hmm. Something like that. Apparently, he was talking them up like they were already his friends.
And then he just like disappeared?
Well, he had some kind of big job lined up, so I can only assume this is the thing that pissed off the Covenant and why they're looking for him now. Wasn't paying any cred, so nobody took him up on the job.
I mean, maybe somebody did, and that's why we can't find him, right?
Nobody where I looked.
Okay.
But I think this Gods of War thing is probably the next step to finding him.
I mean, I could ask around and see if anybody I know knows anything about Gods of War, but I haven't heard of them. I mean, I know.
Pele, D-Rez, anything?
And Relay has been like working on some like device and just like turns and looks at you blankly and then just goes back to work.
Fair enough.
I think this is where we see in the fiction Relay actually doing repairs on their drones and stuff like that. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I guess you're not talking about a video game, because that's what I'm thinking of. It's probably not that.
I mean, apparently the kid was this skinny little Super Nintendo type. Possible.
Are you saying that that's like a problem or something?
No, it's just a very obvious way to look for someone.
Yeah, right. And then she like goes and like looks at like her stuff that's from Show Nintendo, and she's like, "Shit."
Clutch your precious Bulma to your chest. Shut up.
Sees herself reflected in something and just like realizes that she's trash.
I like how it's like, is that a problem? No, it's just a description. Like, fine, I'll do some more digging if I have to. Let's see, who can I go and talk to? Show Nintendo stuff, Gods of War. I need to go to like a store or like a game place, virtual reality, you know.
Oh, like a VR arcade?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I totally want to go to the VR arcade.
Yes, I want to see that place.
Fine, let's go there.
Yes.
Actually, you know what it is? I don't know where one is, but you totally do.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
We've already seen the VR arcade.
I know.
I got high scores on those machines.
I know more.
I gotta get more VR arcade.
No, we went to like a dance like the like layered hexagons arcade, but that wasn't specifically like VR focused, right?
The only way you would
DDR.
ever have the high scores on those is if this is chronologically after me. It's already died. That's the only way you get those high scores.
One of the machines has been memorialized. No one uses it anymore. It's just got like a shrine. Maybe that's a thing in the background of the next scene, right? It's like one of those DDR machines, and it's got a bunch of AR like when you see those like a roadside memorial for someone who's died in a car crash. It's like a DDR machine, and it has all of these augmented reality like flowers and like stuffed animals and stuff. And then there's like pictures of some guy and like AR swords.
Fucking weeb.
Some weeb.
Just, like the most weeby weeb.
Yeah, and maybe
Jinx thought he was the fucking coolest.
Yeah, in the background, exactly. It looks like the grave of some mighty warrior, but it's a DDR machine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
Jinx.
What?
You know a place where I might be able to find a bunch of people who could know anything about this?
I mean, like, I could, but are you gonna slap them? So
let's go to the arcade and slap some kids.
If
it doesn't seem like quite your place, you'd be a little out of place. I don't know, Katja.
Whoa, oldster.
If it is required for me to get the knowledge that I need to slap a few people, then I would happily do so.
I don't know if I want to take you anywhere I want to go again, right?
Either come or don't. I'll find it myself, you whiny baby.
No, I mean, like...
Yes, no?
No, Jinx means exactly what she says. She doesn't want to take you anywhere she plans on going again. You're not cool, man. Like, she doesn't want to be associated with you. Plus, like, I don't know. She doesn't like the way you operate.
Okay. I guess I'm looking for the arcade myself then.
All right, cool.
Fuck you too.
You find yourself in a building, a semi-transparent, like multi-tier building that is both augmented reality and virtual reality arcade. So there are a combination of machines surrounded by glowing clouds of light. The whole place is if you have your AR on and at normal kind of sensorium volume, it's very loud and very bright, right? You walk through like a tank that explodes in front of you. There's a massive arcade-wide map of America where the various machines surrounding it are playing a kind of like global like nuclear war game about the desert wars in America. So there's all these like lines showing their progress and all of that's like glowing around you. But then there's also little isolation kind of pods where people in VR gear are plugged directly into the machines are playing that. And then on the outside of that, you can see AR displays of the interior of their virtual reality worlds. You do walk by the like memorial dance game, and there's a cloud of like the letter F just sort of like emerging from it, as though bubbles from a spring. Yeah, you see a couple of girls dressed like they're dressed like somewhere between like surgical accident victims and like Japanese schoolgirls. And one of them is laying a bunch of flowers on the machine as you walk by. So yeah, you're surrounded by people who are at least 10 years younger than you, and noise and light. And immediately you stand out unless you make some effort to be stealthy, because there's a lot of people looking at you like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Because Katya is
I
like
feel
super
like-
tall too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and I feel like Jinx would have known any arcade that you would try to go to and would just like show up there and like be snapping gum and be like, I don't know you. And then like she's there and she's at the arcade, and like if you like I feel like she wants you to ask her for help, but she's not gonna like, you know.
I just envision, obviously Katya's way cooler than this, but I just envision this is the scene where Katya like takes her coat off and she's got a t-shirt on that just says video games. Like
She definitely has that shirt somewhere. Like there's a shirt that she owns that just says video games
Yeah.
across it. Okay. So, I guess it comes down to the same sort of thing. I need to ask around, and the first thing I do is, of course, if I see Jinx there. So you decided to come after all, then?
I don't know you. Pops gum, like looks away from you, like,
Oh, you don't know me. Then perhaps you can answer the question of what the fuck the gods of war are.
oh you want something from me, perfect stranger.
I'm not going to waste my time with this bullshit. just turn around and go to the nearest
I feel like
nearest
there's,
other person.
yeah, it's funny because you're not really trying to like encourage each other to do anything. There's no move being made here. You're just being
No.
shitty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just being fucking shitty.
Well, no, but
exactly.
like Jinx got slapped in the face because like Katya was like, this is not how you do things. You do things the way that I want to do things. And so like, you shut up and we're going to do things my way. And this is a situation where Jinx is probably more suited, but Katya like won't admit to it or whatever. I don't know. Like
So
Jinx is being sassy.
I imagine the first thing that happens is I go towards like some person playing one of the games or whatever, and like start asking them something, and I get like nothing out of it. Turn back towards Jinx and go like, just ask around, help me out, gods of war, or do you not want to get paid?
And you say paid, and she goes like, oh, right. Yeah, I'll help you out.
I thought so. And then I guess I try and do the same thing I did at the bar, which is like research amongst people,
Okay.
whether it be listening or asking or
Sure.
surveilling.
Yeah. So
And-
this arcade, so we can use it again. We can come back. This arcade is called Zanzibar.
Zanzibar.
Yeah.
Of course, it's called Zanzibar.
Yeah. That's the name of this
Um,
arcade.
And I guess this would count as you like helping with this.
Yeah,
move?
yeah. Like you go up to somebody, I'm like, hey, like I know like the like kids, like I'm around this arcade a lot. I'm around all the arcades a lot because I'm cool. And shh. And I'm like, hey, this and I look over at you, lady. Oh lady, yeah. She's really old. But anyway, this lady, she's a friend of mine. So if you could like help her out, I would be grateful.
I mean, my approach to these shitty arcade kids, who I just assume are shitty because Jinx is shitty, is if they're not immediately helpful, just be intimidating.
Nah. Katya, you can't put away your fucking gun or whatever. Like you can't just slap these kids in the face. They'll shut up, right?
I suppose.
I mean, trust me, I'm one of them. Okay?
When I slapped you in the face, it hasn't shut you up.
Oh, okay. You know, you can go fuck yourself. All right. You want my help?
I mean,
you don't want my help?
Tangentially, I suppose. Like
my high score got beat at that machine. I could just go play it. Like I don't need to help you. Like kids will give me money to watch me play video games.
This is just one of those situations where it's like, fine, let's get this over with.
So what is the question that you want to ask?
The question that I want to ask is, who or what is related to the gods of war?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's a 9.
Okay. So if Jinx can successfully help you, it'll bump it up.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see. I would, for help, I roll links. Yeah. Does that help?
Yes. Yeah.
Help is links. Okay. 7? Does that no?
Yeah. It gives the +1, but
+1.
You've exposed yourself to some danger, and I think what the
great, these kids think I'm not cool anymore.
Yeah, they're like, why are you hanging out with this oldster? Like, so yeah, I think until you can.
Not even that old.
No, I know, but you gotta remember that like if you're 13,
the way that you act,
if you're 13,
right?
Someone who is 16 is like,
yeah, that's true.
Like practically a grown up. So I think the thing is here is you've slightly damaged your reputation by being here with Katya.
I knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
For sure, it doesn't even say video games on it.
So yeah, so you'll still get the answer, and you still got a 10, so you still get the information you want. But like, it's not so bad for you, Katya, because they're used to narcs coming in here and asking questions about like kids who've run away or like kids who are arrested on drug charges. Like they just assume that Jinx, you've turned narc, right? Where they're like, great. So they tell you information to get you out of here. But yeah, Jinx, everybody thinks that you're yeah. You're not cool anymore.
Everybody
you have to work on that.
Everyone thinks you're a snitch. Your new name is Jinxie the Snitch.
Yeah, a little snitchy.
All right, so I get 3 questions on that.
Yes. So what your original question was who's connected. So I can answer that for you.
Who or what is related to the gods of war?
So the gods of war, you're asking, and I think you're talking to this kid, and he's dressed up in like Americana. It's like a style that is becoming popular as more of these like folks come over from America. So he's got like a leather jacket, and he's got a t-shirt with some like archaic mascot.
No. It's one of those like it's got the American flag in the background and then like an airbrushed like eagle's head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The back of his leather jacket has a patch of Grimace on it. He doesn't have any context for it, but it's like this cool purple monster that like he's really into.
Some kind of fast food horror monster.
Yeah.
For a quick second, are you aware of what Grimace is?
He's a taste bud. He's a taste bud. He's a giant taste bud.
No, he's not.
Really?
That's not true. He's a milkshake.
See, this is why Mighty Grimace is arcane and has many histories.
I also really enjoyed that his name is Grimace.
Yeah,
and
Grimace.
He's supposed to be for like good stuff.
Yeah,
like...
no, it doesn't. Nope, doesn't make any sense. I always thought he was a taste bud, but he's a milkshake.
Yeah, he's about milkshake.
Maybe in England he's a milkshake.
Ow.
For folks who don't know what we're talking about, Grimace, according to the McDonald's wiki, is a large purple anthropomorphic being of indeterminate species with short arms and legs. He's been voiced by Megatron. Interesting, Frank Welker. Originally, he was the evil Grimace. Oh no, he originally had 4 arms, and his job was to steal milkshakes.
Okay.
Oh,
he was a milkshake thief. There's Grimace
He
for you.
would steal sodas and shakes.
Yeah.
Evil was soon dropped from Grimace's name. He used to be Evil Grimace.
Yeah. God damn it, Grimace.
The fuck?
So anyway, he's got this purple monster thing on his back, and he's got like a kind of a pompadour that he's like woven little neon red, white, and blue like LEDs into. And so he's talking to you, and you're like, oh, you know, we're looking for members of the Gods of War, and he's like, he just points over at the giant like Desert War America machine, and you can see on the leaderboard. There is an image that maybe we turn, like the camera turns to see the end of a skirmish, right? And like half the team, and they're all dressed like extras from Rambo. Like they all have like camo jackets and like red bandanas, and most of them are like smoking cigarettes. And they've just won, so like tearing off headphones and like shouting and being excited. And on the screen, there's a hologram of the high score, the original high score, and it's currently being fornicated with by an overly muscular like Tychus from HOTS, like huge bulging bubble muscle, like pale white thing,
So he looks
humanoid,
like meat cubes.
Yeah,
more
meat
than
man.
a person.
yeah, meat man, and he's got this like this strange red makeup on and a big like diamond grill, and he's humping the high score as it breaks up and disintegrates, and then he lifts the new high score over his head, and it blasts the high score, and then he disintegrates into some very kind of like tribal tattoo barbed wire looking letters that spell they unfold and spell out Gods of War, spelled GODZ of war. And then there's like a blaring discordant heavy metal guitar solo, and then a timer starts for the next game. So it's like, you know, next skirmish in, and there's a global leaderboard, and it's comparing it to actual casualty data in the Desert Wars, seeing like which is more lethal, and like, so you're competing both against other teams in this fake one and competing against the real combatants.
Actual war.
Yeah, the actual
Oh,
war.
God. We see a little tiny QQ somewhere murdering the shit out of a bunch of people on this battlefield.
Yeah, totally high scorer, and that's the thing, is that like, yeah, there are, like we talked about this, there are corporately sponsored teams, combatant teams, and they are being scored, and like their data is being fed back into the Show Nintendo Onisoft game.
Yeah,
that's
so
being played
QQ is
globally.
on the IRL scoreboard.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, there's IRL and then the in-game.
And like after the guy like points out this thing happening, I feel like Jinx is like, oh, like nice game there, like you're playing this, and he like turns around
Yeah,
and like does it, and she's just like looks at Katya, and she's like, you see what the fuck bringing you here did? I knew this was gonna happen. Like, fuck.
He doesn't want to play Street Fighter 7 with you.
yeah, it's decades and decades later, but we're still only on 7 because they released Street Fighter 6 18 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've just finished a match,
So I'm
and they're all like smoking, and like they've walked over to, there's a Hasty Mart entertainment unit snack bar that is dispensing 3D printed snacks.
Okay. I still have questions, right?
Yes.
Because I'm
Remember
higher.
about 40 minutes ago when a move was rolled?
Yeah. Can I keep them, or do I have to ask them?
I think it's all the results of your research. So let me take a look.
I think it's an ask now.
Yes, ask a question, take intel, and then one more follow-up question, right?
Okay. All right.
Yeah, answer your question and answer a follow-up from the list, and then you also take intel.
Who or what is most valuable to the Gods of War?
So the current Gods of War champion, the high God of War, you look over and they're all like slapping this girl on the back and cheering. There's a girl, she's tall, kind of gangly. She has her head shaved except for like a tuft of like shock white like hair that kind of curls in front of her face. She's got a bunch of like fake, like temporary spray on glowing tattoos, like neon tattoos on her back and on her shoulder. She's just taken off her camo jacket and hanging on a thing, and she's wearing a like a tube top that says "fuck you" on it. That's just like rotating around.
That's awesome.
And everybody seems to be like around her and like cheering for her and like, you know, slapping her on the back. She seems to be the MVP.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk over there. to them.
Okay. All right. So you start walking up to the crowd, and a slightly pudgy, like early teens, like boy, gets in your way, and he steps in the way and like pulls on his lapels, and he's like folds his arms in front of his chest, and he like just kind of stands in your way, and you try to step away, and then he makes it clear like, nope, I'm getting in your way. That's what I'm doing, and he like steps to the side.
You are not fucking serious about this.
No, it's a thing. And like Jinx is trying to do the thing where she's like, I know how this works, like it's cool, and she like steps in front of Katya, and she's like, hey, like we just want to go like congratulate her, like, you know. And she's like doing the whole like, you probably know who I am because like I got high scores on these games and stuff, like yeah.
So he looks at the two of you, and he shakes his head, and he's like, nope, nobody gets to talk to Scourge, especially not you, noobs.
Can I punch him in the face?
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna punch him.
Okay.
I'm mad at Jinx.
Well, you're taking my move.
You're not
I'm
gonna
mad
slap them, are you? Because I want to punch them instead.
I'm mad at Katya for taking my reputation and also for hitting me earlier, and I'm going to be violent.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think you're mixing it up.
You could have just proved you're not. Oh.
I'm sorry, everything's ruined.
Oh, everything is ruined. Oh no. Oh. All right.
Katya
Okay.
now.
So yeah, everybody has to play everybody else's character now.
Go Blues, French accent.
I do not know how to be French.
All right. Let's try again. Do we remember? Do you remember the order? There you
I
go.
think it was,
Good stuff.
and then Elf, right?
And me.
There you go. All right.
Your
So
accent was not bad, but it needs work.
Well,
Room for improvement.
excuse me.
I think you could do the French accent for our character. Sounds good enough.
But a moment. No, okay. So like basically I'm pissed that you ruined my rep, and this little kid is like no person that I should have deference to because she's great and cool. Like I'm gonna get in your way, and so I'm like, get fucked, kid, and I like punch him in the face.
okay. All right. You're mixing it up. You're using violence, and they are, I guess, an armed force. So your objective is what? To seize an audience.
I'm gonna get him down out of the way. I'm gonna like brush past him in a violent manner, and just go up to fuck you, lady.
Okay. All right. Mix it up. Do it. Roll
I get
plus
a
meat.
7.
You get a 7. All right. Choose 2 from the mix it up list.
I make noise and attract attention. I think, yeah, I probably take harm. It becomes a scuffle, right? Instead of me just pushing past and getting to the lady, like it becomes like a scuffle.
Okay. Yeah. So you trade blows with this kid. So I think that you sucker punch him. And then he fights back. So he like throws you on the ground. The two of you kind of have this like awkward, like punching, slapping fight.
Awkward adolescent punch fight.
Yeah. And you're probably taller than him, but he's heavier than you. So he probably like, and it's not like kung fu. It's just like a couple of like shitty teens scrapping.
Yeah, exactly.
So like he falls and like grabs you and pulls you onto the ground, and then like he's trying to punch you, but he's also trying to get you off of him. And like if you both just stopped, the fight would be over. But you're like,
I'm mad at Katya, and I'm taking it out on this shitty kid.
Yeah. And so it ends up being more like where he's just like he cries uncle, right? Where he's just like, stop, and he's like huffing really hard. He's like, I have asthma, jackass. And he's like leaned on a table and like breathing really hard. And you've gotten the attention of the rest of the group.
And I yell out like, don't you know who I am? Don't fuck with me.
I look at Jinx and I'm like, aren't you
Shut up.
to challenge him to a game?
Katya, I cannot even with you right now. All right.
And so in the background behind the like group, one of the members of Gods of War, we see them, and she's on her phone. She's like, Mom, I need you to come pick me up. There's like a fight in the arcade. And so she's just like, yeah, I need to, please come get me. I don't want to be here anymore.
So wait, what would the harm be for fisticuffs?
I mean, You
I
just
don't
like
even think
walk.
it was worth harm on either side.
Okay.
I mean, it is. It's a fist
That-
fight.
It says that you take harm as established by the fiction.
I think you need to just make the harm move at 0.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the harm move.
This is
Oh, it's
where-
on the.
This is where he rips off your arm.
Yeah, you lose a limb.
I have asthma, you jackass. He tears your arm.
The arm move.
Yeah, the arm.
Yeah.
Rolio dom
Great.
move.
Great.
job.
Great. I rolled it
Good
a
job.
10. I got a
Fan fucking
10.
tastic.
I'm the fucking.
So let's be
worst.
clear here. Your options are take the full harm of the attack before it was reduced. So you could actually take 1 harm. He hit you harder than you expected.
Okay.
You
I'm
could
just gonna
lose a
take
piece
harm
of
because there's
cyberware.
no
You could be
fucking-
knocked out or unconscious. Or yes, you could lose a body part. He accidentally
No.
sticks his thumb in your eye.
That makes no
Yeah. Ah,
sense.
God.
I'll take 1 harm and have
Okay.
like a black eye.
Yeah, so he goons you pretty good at some point, and
God
yeah, you're not doing so hot.
It's fine. It's just 1 harm.
Rips your heart out of your chest.
He just
Kalima.
did 1/6 of a murder on you.
He's played a lot of Mortal Kombat. Okay, he knows how this shit works. He's like, I have asthma. You turn your back on him, he rips your spine out. So anyway, yeah. So while that sort of scuffle has occurred, Katya,
Yeah, I
You have an
will
opportunity to walk up
I
to
will
the-
have
to the
moved
group.
past this scuffle, yeah, and approached Scourge,
okay.
if
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
can.
So Scourge, she has her jacket off. Her tattoos, they're like movable, like pattern LEDs. And as you walk up, they appear to be, like, again, this kind of like overblown, like their mascot, this like huge muscle dude in a Speedo, and it's like a bunch of them. You can tell them apart, so like, because they're wearing like different masks or have different like outfits, and they're either wresling or having sex. It's hard to tell because the tattoos are like moving around. But yeah, they're very
homoerotically
vulgar.
wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Homoerotic
She has
wrestling.
homoerotic wrestling tattoos that she's applied.
Katya's tattoos are just ink, you know. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't move.
And they're starting. You can see them peeling and fading at the edges, right? So like bits and pieces of these dudes. It's like a sunburn. It's peeling. The fake skin is peeling off. And she's not looking at you when you walk up. The fight has happened, and she's turned back to drinking her hasty blast energy drink.
Scourge, is it?
And she like turns to look over her shoulder at you, and without deigning to turn all the way around, she's like, "It's my name. Don't wear it out."
I happen to be searching for someone that I think you might know.
And she shakes her head, and her little like 4-lock thing flops a little, and she's like, "Get bent, oldster."
See, I don't really think that's going to be how this goes. This is going to go very much like this. I am going to ask you a question, and then you are going to answer my question. Because, old star though I may be, I happen to know some things that you don't.
So she pushes off a little bit because she's sitting on one of these like spinny chairs, a little like stool, and it spins around. And she looks up at you, and she grins. You can she's got like a platinum like grill in, and it says "Dicks" on it. And she looks up at you, and she's like, "How about instead, I give you one of these, and you go back to the retirement home."
I think at this time, like Jinx is like walking up, like wiping blood off of her like nose, and she's like, "Sup?"
And then I just say to her plainly, calmly, there's like a moment of like, okay, fucking kid, you know, and then freak, liquid freak. I am looking for him.
Why don't you fast talk her? Let's see if you can convince her to help you out. Yeah, try to convince someone you want with promises, lies, or bluster. So I guess what's the leverage here? Like, why should she talk to you?
I'm totally down. Beat her up.
You just got beat up by her bodyguard. She can take
the
you to town.
leverage here for me, at least from my opinion, is that like Katja, yes, she doesn't fit in this crowd, but she's also the kind of person who, like, for sure these kids have dealt with before, and who could cause problems, like violent problems.
I mean, not all of these shitty kids are actually like in gangs or like doing anything where they would meet people like Katja.
I mean, not necessarily, but again, it's one of those things where it's like it's just intimidation, like whether that works or not.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, the
We'll
role
see.
will tell us if she's intimidated. So you're like, I can hurt you, like grown up hurt you, not like
Yeah, like it's really cool that you're good at video games. Do you need your fingers?
yeah,
you
right.
know?
Well, and that's the thing. You're trying to push through that bravado. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. 7.
Okay. All right. So on a 7 to 9, NPCs do it, but someone will find out.
Mhm.
Okay. Someone in the Gods of War is like overhearing this conversation, and they're gonna tell somebody. And they're gonna tell somebody.
Parent.
Right, Mom. Yeah, totally. I like it. No, that's great. Yeah. Well, because I think that's a bit of the thing, right? Is that in the arcade, they're the like tough, cool NPCs, but they're still kids, and they like have some of them still have parents, and like maybe she'll go home and like tell her dad, and her dad works for a security company, and like
Against like 12-year-old kid who wants to party with the Gods of War, they're real tough. But like, Katja's not
or like
convinced by that.
yeah, or like the girl who's on her phone with her mom is under corporate surveillance, and they're picking up keywords, and it's flagging. Yeah, no, I dig it. So yeah, okay, so she looks you up and down, and she's like, freak, huh? Shakes her head. That kid's a noob. Yeah, he used to be elite, but she like shrugs. He lost his edge. Got caught up in some shitty stuff.
Like what kind of shitty stuff?
She like takes a long, obnoxious slurp of the straw of her energy drink, and yeah, it's like a big metal like tall boy can, yeah, with a straw in it, and it does that thing where it's got like a boba like bubbles at the bottom, so it's like this gross kind of wet slurping noise. She like swallows pointedly, puts it down on the counter, and she's like, "Listen, Gods of War, we dominate this shit." And she like points at the leaderboard, and you can see, yep. And she says, he used to be part of the team. Liquid Freak was good, but sometimes look, we get people in here, recruiters and shit. You know, mostly they think because we're elite in the game, we'll be elite in real life. Some kids, they believe that shit. They go along with it.
Look forward to a bright future as a frail drone operator or something.
Yeah, and she shakes her head and she's like, "No, fuck that shit. I'm gonna be a doctor or a lawyer or some shit. This is just a game. I mean, it's a game I'm very good at. I got ambitions and stuff." And like as she's saying this, like her like dick's grill is like reflecting the light back at you. But she's like, you know, some of these kids, they're not so smart. And she shrugs and she's like, "Liquid Freak, he just got in with the wrong people. I don't know who they were. Tough looking guys, Slavs, weird tattoos. And like, can she see yours?"
Yeah.
Yes. She looks at it pointedly and she's like, "Well, you know them?"
Yeah. What do I say here? I do. I have met these tough-looking Slavs before, worked with them. Now they are angling to hurt your friend. And I have been tasked with finding your friend and making sure that he doesn't get hurt. You understand?
Yeah, and she's like, "No, we ain't friends. We dated for like a minute, but whatever happens to him, that's his own shit."
So where can I find him?
She says, "I don't know, I haven't seen him in a while." And you can see on her face that she's actually like a little bit worried about him. Like she's putting up this big front, but like, she says, he sent me some messages a little while ago, saying he found something big. He was gonna make a ton of money. I guess it was gonna get him out of whatever trouble he was in with these Slavs. And then she like kind of looks down at the floor and she's like, "But I haven't heard from him since." Some of the other guys thought he was being, bugged or tapped or whatever.
Pretty sure whatever skull he got into wasn't to help him with the Slavs so much as get them irritated.
So like you said, you guys like dated. Did you ever, go back to his place or whatever? You know where he kept home base?
She scowls at you and she's like, "Ew."
What?
No.
Excuse me. I just asking, okay?
She's like, "Listen, I'm only into some very specific stuff." And she like kind of flexes one arm and two of the like muscly dudes like rub up against each other.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, "Liquid Freak, nah, he wasn't my type, if you know what I mean."
Then why the fuck you date?
She's like looks around, she's like that's the dumbest possible question in the world. Like that's just what you do? You just date people? That's just a thing that happens?
You don't like them, but you just date them
Yeah,
anyway.
we just dated for a minute. It was just like it was a thing, whatever. Like
We're trapped in this tiny subculture together, and there are only
Exactly.
like 4 other people.
Yeah. She doesn't know any real life enormous greasy rubber homosexual wrestlers, okay? So she just takes what
But,
she can
like,
get.
Okay, but like really, you have no clue where we could find, I don't know, where he lived?
So
like
you say that and she shakes her head and she's like, "No, that's not what I said. I said I never went to his house." And she kind of like looks around and she's like, "But I know where it is."
And
what?
And like we're trying to help this kid. Like I'm not fuck whatever. I don't even care.
So why don't you try to fast talk her here? What you're I don't know if you're lying exactly, but you're telling her you're just trying to help. He's in trouble, you're trying to help. That makes sense.
I've stepped back a little to give you some space to do this, definitely.
Okay, so I'm trying to fast talk her now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fuck yeah. I get an 11.
Okay.
So she does what I want.
So she's like, "Look, I'm not trying to, dox my boy, but like, if you think he's in trouble," and she brings up her AR overlay, and the boot up is, like one of these big dudes like ripping his shirt off, and then the AR is like on her interface is like on his chest, and she like pulls up some piece of information and blows it to you in AR. And it's it's an address. It's an apartment in a one of the municipal mega blocks. He just lives in an apartment there.
Thanks. Also, GG, right?
And she like rolls her eyes at your attempt to be cool and be her friend.
Get fucked. I'm out.
Yeah.
Do you like knock something off the counter as you walk out?
I totally try and knock over her drink.
Okay. I think you can just
can't paw her drink.
Yeah,
I just knock her drink over.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you knock it over and it like lands on the table and there's like a splash of scintillating energy drink that like goes on the counter, and she just kind of like rolls her eyes at you. And then as you're doing that, like an air raid siren like kind of goes off over at the machine, and it's like call to battle, and like the teams are all like running and kind of like climbing over each other and shouting and kind of grab-assing their way over to the banks of computers to plug in and
grab-assing their way.
And so she just like puts her jacket on, like pops her collar, just like whatever. I got a war to win. Cracks her knuckles. And heads over to the machine. I guess is there anything else you want to do in the arcade? You have an address now that you
I think the thing is, I say to Jinx as we're like leaving, he's not going to be there. The combinat will have already checked. But maybe we'll find something.
I don't know. D-Res is pretty good. Maybe we could get into his computer or something. I just figured it'd be, I don't know. You know what? Like, you fucking screwed up my rep here, Katja. I knew you were gonna, like, and you did. Why can't you just be cool?
Oh my god, your rep is a literal like AR thing. So like when you leave, your AR pops up a little message from Zanzibar.
Yeah,
that's
you're
like,
getting like thumbs down.
yeah. It's a little soldier guy, like a little soldier guy with an eye patch, and he like salutes you, and he's like, "Thanks for coming to Zanzibar, soldier." And then it's
And
like
he used
rep.
to say like lieutenant or
Well,
like
no, it'd be like your rep report for the day, and it like scrolls the thing like a spinning thing, and then it's just like 3 sad faces and a poop. And it's just like, better luck next time. And then he dissolves in a cloud of butterflies.
It just like reminds you of the code of conduct for the arcade and stuff. There's like a couple little things to get you back on track.
Yeah, totally.
Helpful tips like you should try congratulating your opponents.
So you're like getting at her about your rep, and Katja just says, if I remember correctly, you said that you didn't want to take me anywhere, that you didn't want to go before. I went myself, and then you were here. So.
Well, yeah, I fucking knew what you would get, and that's fucking nothing. I was just trying to be helpful, you know, like money and shit. I gotta live, right?
I remember a certain little girl who said something like, don't slap any of the children, and got into a punch fight with a pudgy fat kid.
You know, that kid has been barking up the wrong tree for like months, right? He deserved it.
Just roll my eyes like, oh boy.
In the background, we see that kid with like one hand against the glass of like the 3rd floor, just like looking at you like big heart eyes, like bandage on his nose. He's got toilet paper jammed up in his nostrils, and he's just like,
I got punched by her.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is why I don't have children.
Yep. Cool. All right. Well, let's take a break there, and when we come back, we can see what you want to do with this information. You now have an address for the elusive Liquid Freak. You have a meat space place you can go and check out, and like you said, Katja, like the commandant might have already checked it out, but you might find something that they missed. There's always a chance.
We're actually making progress on a mission. It's crazy.
You're hot on the trail. So stick around. We'll be back with more of the Sprawl in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere.